Guess what, y'all? It's story time. What's up, YouTube fam? Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. Welcome and welcome back. My name is Cherie Monique. And before I go any further, I do want to say Happy New Year, guys. We actually made it to 2022. I know 2021 was rough, 2020 was rough, but you know what? We're still here. So I pray that everyone crush every dream they have, every goal they need to meet this year, and just go forth in excellence. Now, with that said, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend about my channel. I'm trying to reach a goal here this year, and with your help, I believe I can do it. Now, come on, let's get into this story time. So as stated, I used to date a guy named Luke. And by all means, if you don't really know what's going on, make sure you catch up with the previous video first and then jump back to this one because this is a series. Now, so here it is. It's at the end of my freshman year of college. Like I told y'all last video, I literally fell in love with Luke. In the beginning, it wasn't like that. However, eventually it transformed into true, genuine love. So finding out he was talking to all these girls or whatever, Courtney and then the other girl, I can't remember the other name. You know, I started growing tired, but at that time he had me stuck. I just felt like I couldn't leave him. So as time progressed, it's time for me to start gearing up going to basic training. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of nervous because I knew, okay, if I was around him and he was seeing me once or twice every week, I had a feeling that he was not going to be faithful while I was gone. But you know what? I was trying to be optimistic. I was young, dumb. In all honesty, I did have the thought of breaking up with him before I left. But then again, on the other side, I was like, man, but I really love this guy now. Like, I don't want to leave him. Like, I can't let him go. So I just kept him around. Here it is. It's the end of my freshman year. I knocked out my finals, but I had to knock out my finals early because it was time for me to go to basic training. So I ended up having to go to basic training. It was like the second week of May. I left college a few days early. They gave me time to prep for basic training and to spend time with my family. So I decided to go back home and spend that time with my family, get everything together that I needed to get done, get important documents. And this also gave Luke time to spend with me. So during that time span, it was like only about 4 days. He would show up at my parents' house or we would go out and eat and stuff. And it seemed like things, were pretty decent. But like I said, in the back of my mind, I just knew he was not going to be faithful to me. So, I hate that this. So I honestly thought like, hey, if I go to training, that'll give me some time apart from him. I knew I wasn't going to be able to talk to him on the phone. So I said, hey, to break this bond, maybe I could just write a letter to him and just send it home. And just let him know, hey, you know what, I don't think this is gonna work and whatnot. Yeah, that's crappy. But at the end of the day, I just had a feeling that I needed to do that. So the big day comes. And so I think it was like May 12th. May 12th was my due date to ship out. So I remember before I left, Luke and I was there and we were just talking and he was like, hey, are you gonna write me all the time or when you can? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do my best. They say we're gonna be real busy, but in my downtime, I'm gonna make sure I write you, make sure you write me back or whatever. And then he just out of nowhere, like, we were just sitting there chilling, hugging on each other. Like I said, everything was ready and I was prepped to go. He just broke out crying. Now this was shocking to me because I never really seen men cry like that. Like to actually see the tears face to face and to see that he actually cared for me, it gave me a soft spot. Like for a couple of minutes. Because in my mind, I still had a plan like, no, I'm going to still write this letter. I'm going to send it home to him. I'm going to let him know, hey, this is it. Because I just knew it wasn't going to go far. So as he's sitting there crying, I'm sitting there hugging him and then it makes me tear up. Because I see that he's emotional about the situation. And then my mom, she was home at the time, so she's breaking down crying. And I'm like, okay, everybody crying. I can't be doing this. I'm about to leave. So, long story short, I end up kissing him, letting him know everything's going to be okay. Gave my mom a hug. My pops, I think he was at work that time, during that time, but he's he spoke to me before he left that morning, so everything was good there. And my sister and brother, they came home. They, saw me off and everything. And as we were standing in the yard giving each other hugs, my recruiter, he had pulled up, got out, spoke to the family and stuff, and then he helped me put everything in the vehicle. And as we were backing out, I saw like Luke break down crying.
This has got to be the saddest day of my life.
And then my mom was consoling him, and then like my sister and brother were outside waving by and stuff. And then I was off the boot camp. So here it is, May 12th of 2009. I shipped out to basic training, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And I arrived there. We arrived initially at company 120th. And for the first week from May 12th to May 19th, nothing but in processing, getting your clothing, getting your boots, going to get your shots and things like that. Just taking care of the basics prior to you actually starting basic training. So that week was called week 0. It did not count towards any of your time. However, on May 19th, which was my birthday, I turned 19 and we arrived to our actual company. And my company at that time was Alpha 239. I'll never forget that day because I thought I lost my mind for joining the military. However, let me stick to the story. So as I am at basic training, there are times that I did have downtime to write people back at home. So I would write my mom, like my dad, my family, my friends, and then also Luke. So I noticed in the beginning, Luke's letters were extremely long, but then, and he was just, telling me about little basic things that was going on. Hey, I finally arrived to, our school now. I'm here. I met some people. They're real cool. The football team seems straight or whatever, and so on and so forth. Now, as time progressed, his letters did start getting shorter, and he started mentioning this one friend. I'm gonna say her name's Lisa. He was like, "Yeah, I met this guy and this guy and this guy, and then I met this guy, and then I met this girl named Lisa." Now, it was weird to me. I mean, whenever I did, I don't care if my guy has like female friends. That's never been an issue with me. The issue has been, can I trust you? Are you gonna do some sneaky stuff behind my back? But with this here, he mentioned Lisa, and for some reason, antennas went off. I was like, Lisa, okay. I was like, you just had to put her in the letter, huh? So anyway, we continued to write each other when I could. Every now and then, it'll be a week or two when I could not write because we were doing a lot. However, when I found time, I would write him. And I realized he started mentioning Lisa more and more. Well, I still had that plan in the back of my mind about writing that letter, letting him know we were done, we were breaking up. However, I needed to find the right time. So I said, you know what, I'm going to wait towards the end of training to do so. Well, before that time even came, he wrote me a letter about, oh, babe, this is so hard. I miss you so much, but not seeing you make me feel like you're not even here anymore. I wish I could just talk to you and hold you. It's been so hard. I'm going to be honest with you. I almost kissed Lisa and whatnot, but I stopped myself.
I know you fucking lied.
And when he said that, I low-key, I was hurt. But of course, I was like, you know what? This is the time. Let me write the letter. Man, y'all. So I wrote that letter. And it was really short. It was like, hey, thanks for letting me know about you and Lisa. As of this day, you know what? We don't even have to talk anymore. We're done. I'm done with the relationship. Let's just focus on ourselves. We're in college. Like, let's just part ways. Here it is. It's my day to go take the mail to the mailbox. I had that letter in my hand. I felt stoked. I felt good. I was like, you know what? I can do whatever. I'm gonna send this letter home, and I'm gonna be fine. I don't need him. I go take all the letters to the mailbox, drop them in, and then we had chow. After chow, it was time for us to hit the road and do our 12-mile rock march to our campsite. Well, it's not really a campsite, but for a lack of better terms, so most people understand, campsite. So we did our rock march, we got to the place, and it started pouring down raining. And as it's pouring down raining, they're like, all right, go ahead, set up shop. They're helping get stuff straight, pulling our bags, and getting everything set up. And as I am there, I remember reaching in my pocket. I don't know if I was reaching for something, but I reached in my cargo pocket on my ACUs, and like wet and damp, like, and I was like, what is this paper doing in here? Y'all, how about I sent everybody else's mail home besides mine, and I was legit breaking up with that guy. So I blew it, and I was like, no, and it was mine. I don't know why it was in the separate pocket, because whenever I would go take mail to the mailbox for all of my battle buddies, I would always put it in my right pocket. So I don't even know how my piece of mail did not get included. So I'm out in the field for a whole week, and I'm like, dang, man, like, how the heck did that happen? So I was like, you know what? I'll just wait. Whenever we get back, I'll knock it out and do it then. However, that never happened because we were just so busy. So towards the end of basic training, I did get my phone back. I called my parents. My mom picked up the phone. She broke down crying. She was like, oh, my baby, you know how parents do. And I spoke to them. I let them know, hey, everything is good. I'll see y'all such and such days. Make sure y'all come to this location. Just updating them with everything. And then, boom, just like that, basic was over. So I ended up going back home, and I was home for all of like 2 days. I did get me a car and everything. I did knock out a couple of things, and then I, did go see some family members and stuff. After those 2 days, I decided to go see Luke. So I was like, I remember asking my mom, I was like, Mom, you want to ride with me to school so I can go see Luke? I also have to like get some stuff situated with like my tuition reimbursement stuff and all the stuff I had to get, taken care of, and my apartment and so on and so forth. It was a real short amount of time I had left before starting school. So my mom was like, yeah, baby, I'll come with you. So here it is. I called Luke. And I called him around, it was like around 12 or 1 or something like that. I knew it was around the time that he had his lunch or his break or whatever, because they were doing practice and stuff like that and doing everything over the summertime. So this time when I called him, I was like, hey, how you doing? He was like, oh, hey. And he called me by my name. And it was kind of weird to me because normally he called me Sweet Pea. And I was like, oh, well, what you up to? He was like, oh, nothing, just on break. I said, well, hey, I'm coming on campus to get some stuff situated. Wanted to see maybe if I could see you. He was like, oh, well, I mean, you can, but I'm kind of rough looking right now. And I just can't, I don't need to really be seeing anybody right now. I need to stay focused. And I was like, what? And I understand, the guys, they need to stay focused. However, I'm like, I've been gone for nearly 3 months. Like, you can't take at least like 5 minutes of your time to come see me. So I was like, okay, so you don't want to see me? He was like, no, that's not it. It's just that, I've been really busy. I'm really tired and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, I've been really busy and tired, and I'm making time for you. So all in all, he agreed to come see me. But my mom, she looked at me, she was like, girl, if he don't want to see you or he acting like that, you don't need to see him. Let's just go to campus and get your stuff taken care of, and then we can go back home. I was like, well, no, Mom, I do want to see him or whatnot. I need to get something off my chest. And so here it is. I did end up seeing him, but when he saw me, it was like his mood was totally different. He grabbed me and hugged me. Like, he started tearing up, and like, it was different. So I'm like, yo, you didn't, what in the world? So he was just, it was always confusion going on with him. And then my mom looked too. I saw her like looking like, he was like, I miss you so much. He just kept grabbing me and hugging me. He was like, look, I mean to cut it short, but I do got to go back, to practice field, but I miss you. Like, we're going to link up later on today. I was like, well, nah, not today. I'm going back home. I was like, but you feel free to call me. He was like, okay, I'm going to call you or whatever. And so, y'all, after that, I should have known right then and there that I should have left him alone. My mom, so I pulled off, and my mom was like, Rhea, I don't like how that went down. And I was like, what, Mom? I mean, she was like, initially he acted like he didn't want to see you, and then when he get in front of you, he'd get all crazy and happy and stuff like that. You don't have a problem with that? I was like, yeah, I didn't like it, but I was like, Mom, in all honesty, when I was in, basic training, I was going to break up with him and send him a letter. However, the letter never made it home. So I was going to take the time to do it today. However, I felt like today wasn't the right time, so I'll do it next time. She was like, okay, you need to do something because something ain't right about him. So here it is, school start. I got my apartment. I'm living with 3 other girls. And if y'all remember the Roommate from Hell horror story, that's the apartment that I moved into, okay? So that's how that story ties in together. So here it is, I moved into this apartment with 3 other girls. I met them or whatever, they were cool and stuff. And I ended up, liking where I was staying for a while. However, as time progressed, you all know I had a roommate from hell and blah, 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 so whatever. But the ones that I did kick it with, like, they were so cool. Like, we would go out. When I actually had time to go out, we would go out. So I actually love those girls. They were pretty cool. And still to this day, I do, talk to them, like say something to them every now and then on Facebook or whatnot, and vice versa. So the year starts. Things between me and Luke, they were okay. I started meeting some of his teammates. And one in particular became his best friend. And his best friend ended up having a girlfriend. Long story short, me and her, we're still amazing friends today. That is my sister. I love her. She's amazing. But yeah, at that time, those 2 guys, they became really cool. And then he became cool with other guys initially. And, I met some of them. So this is how I knew he was really starting to do something. First of all, his attitude changed completely. So it was times that we were due to be hanging out with each other. It was times where we were both busy. I was in ROTC, I was in the Army, and of course college. So I was already busy, and then he had football and of course college, so he was busy. But whenever we had open and available time to link, we would link with each other. However, Lord and behold, he started coming up with a bunch of dumb excuses as to why we couldn't hang out. Oh, I'm gonna hang out with the boys. Oh, I'm not feeling good, I'm gonna lay down. Oh, this, that, and the third. And the whole time I'm like, okay, something's not right, because I literally will break my neck to go hang out with this dude. However, he will come up with every excuse in the book to not come hang out with me. Now, before I go any further, remember when I said I was gonna break up with him? Well, I had it in my mind to break up with him. However, it just seemed like something always got in the way, so it never took place. Like, we would link, and when we did link, we were having an amazing time, so it made me second guess. And then when we couldn't link because of some stupid excuse he gave me, it made me think, okay, yeah, I'm doing this next time. Like, face to face, I'm breaking up with him like it is done. So this next thing here is what really started taking the cake. So as time progressed, we started arguing a lot. It was pretty much because I got tired of him always coming up with some crazy excuse as to why we couldn't hang out. And I didn't address it aggressively. However, he will always return, like, give me a response aggressively. And I'm like, hold on, you never was like this before, so what's up with you? So yeah, stop questioning me. Don't worry about what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything to hurt you. If I can't hang out with you, I'll get up with you next time. Just chill out and stop acting like that. And, it was like he was just spazzing out on me for no reason. And I started getting sick and tired of that. So I started going hard at him too.
Bitch.
So now it's like we're both aggressive and both going in with each other. So it will be anywhere. It'll be his place. It'll be at my place. It was just wherever. So one time when it started to really go downhill, he had started becoming real insecure for no reason at all. It was crazy. This night we ended up going to the movies. Like I told y'all in a previous video, I love going to the movies. I just really did. Why, I don't know. So that night, I remember I was driving my car, and he was on the opposite side of me, and of course in the passenger seat. And I remember he was arguing about something. I don't even know. But, so I asked him something about, he was supposed to do something. He didn't do it. I addressed it, and there he wants to argue. So the whole time I'm driving, he's arguing. I'm like, okay, yeah, can you just be quiet? Because I don't even got time to hear what you're talking about. Like, I want to go see the movie. We having a good time. I'm not doing it tonight. So I drive into a parking space. However, literally any and everything I was doing was wrong. He was like, no, back up and park in and again. I was like, no, I'm in the parking space. What's your problem? I mean, you kind of too close on my side to this line. And mind you, it was nobody else on the other side. Like, nobody else could park on that side because of the way the curb was made. So it was like one parking space and I was in it. And, well, you need to back up and do it again. I'm like, no, how about you get out the car and you come do it? So I get out my car, I stand on the sidewalk, and I let him back the car up. God, as he's backing the car up to pull it back in, a group of guys, it was like 3 or 4 guys, came up and they was like, hey, little mama, how you doing or whatever. Now at this time, like I said, he started getting real aggressive and wanting to argue all the time. So I was kind of like, Lord, let them go away. Please, God, Jesus, I don't want them to do this right now. And it was like, hey, Ma, you okay? You good? What's going on? Like, you all right? So I was like, yeah, I'm good, y'all. I'm good. Thank you. And I try to direct my attention back to Luke. And as I'm directing my attention to Luke, I see his face in the car all distorted and evil looking, like, yo, who is this? So then they're saying something else, something about you look nice tonight or something. They were giving me compliments. I was like, thank you. And then they was like, well, where's your man at? You shouldn't be out here by yourself. I'm like, he's in the car. And as I'm saying he's in the car, he gets out the car. Who y'all mother effers think y'all talking to? That's my girl. What the F wrong with y'all? So he's livid. Mind you, he's like 6'5". He was 6'5", about 2-something pounds. So he was a big dude. These guys, they're like 5'11", 6 or whatever, slim dudes. I'm not gonna lie, they were nice looking, but like I said, I wasn't trying to check them for that because I was trying to keep the peace. So then they bust out laughing. I'm like, man, dude, you ain't nobody. Like, yo, you gotta get back in that car before we hit you with it. And so, like, Luke always tried to act like he was big and bad. However, those dudes, they were hood. So, and I could tell they were hood. So they busting out laughing at him like, yo, man, come on. If you got something to say, come on with it. So the whole time it's getting loud and louder and louder and louder. And as it's getting louder, they outside fussing. I'm in the middle, like, trying to keep it calm. And next thing I know, I'm seeing, like, security guards and stuff rush over. So I said, you know what? I said, Luke, come on, they're coming. He was like, nah, F that. And you a stupid B for standing there and just letting them say whatever. I was like, I said, okay. When he said that, I walked away. I remember walking in the movie theater. I had my ticket with me. I think he had his. So by then, I already walked in the movie theater and I sat down in my seat. He came in like about 5-10 minutes afterwards. And by then, the movie was about to start. So he sat down beside me. He was like, yeah, what the F wrong with you? Now you leaving me too? See, you ain't worth this and that. And I was like, yo, what is wrong with you? Like, you are crazy. And so I'm like, yo, we sitting here watching this movie. Thankfully, there weren't many people in there, so we didn't disturb anybody. But I was like, yo, chill out. Like, watch the movie. We're not doing this right now. We'll talk about it later. He goes and hits the seat. F that. We going to talk about this now. So after a while, y'all, I literally had to get up and go sit, like, in another row. And I just chilled up for a minute. Next thing I know, 15-20 minutes pass by. I feel a tap on my shoulder, and it's Luke, and he's like, hey, come on, I'm sorry. Come on back up here. I'm sorry for disrespecting you. I was just mad. I was like, nah, I'm good. So I turn around. He grabs my shoulder, but it was kind of like hard, and he was like, get up and come on. And I was like, yo, get off me. What is wrong with you? And he gave me this crazy look. He was like, get up. And so then I was like, I'm not trying to make no more issues today. Let me get up. So I get up and I go back there to the seat and I sit beside him. He kind of grabbed my arm, but it wasn't hard. But like he grabbed my shoulder, but he grabbed my arm and was like, "I'm sorry, okay?" Just like rubbing it and caressing, like, "I'm sorry, okay? I know I spazzed out. I shouldn't have done that. I thought they was, they was trying to get at you and you were going to get their number or something." I'm like, why would I do that? Like, come on, especially in front of you. Like, that's dumb. So after that night, we did go home and talk about it. He was just pretty much like, yo, I'm sorry. As we're home or whatever, talking about the situation, he goes in the bathroom and he had his phone down. and he placed his phone down. And normally I don't even pay his phone any attention. However, the phone kept going off and going off and going off. And then next thing I know, it was I'm not gonna say her name, but it was a girl's name on the phone. Like, where you at? When you coming? And I was like, what? So then I'm reading the message, and I'm like, Luke, come here now. Next thing I know, he's like, he opens up the bathroom door, like, what's wrong? I was like, so who is so-and-so? There you go, going through my phone. It ain't even nothing like that. I'm like, oh, so you supposed to be going to somebody's house tonight? And so pretty much, y'all, we got into it, and that is the end of part 2. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. I will try my best to post the next one by next week. But continue to stay in, guys. You're gonna see the evolution of how crazy I was, but eventually I got out of it. With that said, I love you guys. Stay safe. God bless, and see you soon. Bye.